So I think this could be the right time to give you guys an update on what is unfolding in price action of Bitcoin. I mean, we are aware Bitcoin has been struggling to maintain some key line of support. It is also showing weakness, and looking at it in a different time frame using different scenarios, we are expecting this weakness to continue a little bit longer, head towards the next area of confluence, find bottom, and only after that to continue with this bullish move. Yes, you heard that correctly, guys. On my previous video, I showed you with so many different examples that in the medium short term, there could be a move towards the next area of confluence, which could bring the price of Bitcoin in between 70,000 and 75,000 before heading higher. So before I start talking about that, before we dive into the content, first destroy that like button. And guys, let's try it one more time to reach at least 1,000 like in this video, because every like, every comment definitely boost the algorithm of the channel and also boost the motivation for me to create content like this in a daily basis. Thank you very much. Now, first thing first, let's look at this USDT dominance, because according to this USDT dominance, it does looks like we might be heading towards the upper trend line. USDT dominance showing strength means the entire crypto market will suffer. I mean, USDT dominance looks like heading towards the next area of confluence around the upper trend line from the descending broadening wedge. And if that happens, then we know the upcoming days for Bitcoin or the entire crypto market is expected to be bearish. Yes, guys, USDT dominance showing strength means the market must wait a little bit longer to see a continuation to the upside. But for now, for the medium short term, Bitcoin is following some bearish scenario. For example, this rising wedge. Rising wedge is a bearish continuation pattern. Upper trend line acts as resistance, lower trend line acts as support. So in our case, Bitcoin has already broken out of this support line. Right now, if this continuation continues, according to this example, if you simply measure the price target at the area where we could be possibly hitting, you can see it definitely shows a move below 80,000. That means in the medium short term, Bitcoin could be showing some sideways movement, but please do not get fooled. There could be a final continuation. Bitcoin heading towards the 75,000, find bottom around that area, and only after that continue with this uptrend, because beside this bearish continuation pattern, Bitcoin parallel is also following this ascending broadening wedge pattern. And you know, guys, we have been talking about this since a couple of weeks, even months, that Bitcoin is still following this bearish continuation pattern known as ascending broadening wedge, which is also pointing us a move towards the downside. Yes, guys, according to this bearish continuation pattern, if the price of Bitcoin starts showing weakness, right, and heads towards the next area of confluence, you can see we are expecting a move towards 75,000, because that is the area where we had the most trading activity. So that's why I personally think if the price fails to regain its strength above 86,000, I mean above the CPI trend line, above this top CPI trend line, then the upcoming days for Bitcoin, despite some bullish move, could be still heading lower towards this 75,000, because according to this channel, this rising channel as well, Bitcoin has already lost the support from this lower trend line, and the same trend line even acted as resistance when trying to re-enter inside it. What does this mean? You can see the same trend line which previously acted as support rejected the price, and since then we are seeing this move to the downside. So if this bearish continuation continues, we are expecting the price of Bitcoin to head lower than 80,000. Unfortunately, we are expecting Bitcoin to head lower than 80,000 because according to our leading indicator, our monthly S1 line, the first bearish target for the month of April, also sits below that price range. I mean, the first bearish target for the month of April, if the price of Bitcoin fails to find support above this top CPI line above 86,000, then this trend line here to the downside, the monthly S1 line, will be attracting us, which sits around 74,400. That's why even with the help of this leading indicator, you can see Bitcoin is facing resistance around these trend lines, right? Because this same trend line acts as support during uptrend and acts as resistance during downtrend. So in our case, this is a descending CPR which only gets formed during downtrend, lower than the previous month CPR. So that's why we have to be careful, guys. If we fail to regain our strength, a proper support above 86,000 or the top CPR line, any sort of a rally could be just a temporary rally, and price after that could be heading towards the first target, the first bearish target towards this S1 line. And why that would make sense? Because price of Bitcoin is also following this Williams alligator indicator scenario, a bearish continuation scenario, because this is a bearish cross. Blue line appearing at the top, green line at the bottom only happens during downtrend. So in my opinion, if we fail to regain our strength, a proper strength above 86,000, any sort of a rally will be looked as a temporary rally, and Bitcoin could be showing a move like this before finding bottom, before starting with a new bullish continuation. So what I'm trying to pinpoint is that as long as we remain below 86,000, let's not be overexcited, even if the price in the immediate short term shows some bullish move. I mean, 86,000 is definitely going to be a strong resistance from this CPR trend line. I mean, this CPR trend line will be acting as resistance. The CPR trend line will be acting as resistance. This one here, you can see this trend line, the lower trend line will be acting as resistance, and even this falling trend line will be acting as resistance. So it won't be that easy to break out of this 86,000 for Bitcoin. So as long as we fail to regain our strength above this trend line, above 86,000, any sort of a rally will be just a temporary rally. But one thing is definitely sure. We know, according to this leading indicator, you can see this CPR is a little bit narrower than the previous month, which indicates volatility for the month of April. And now, even with the help of this Bollinger Band, you can see we are seeing a squeeze in Bollinger Band usually indicates incoming volatility. So what do we want? We want this volatility to favor the longs. I mean, we definitely want the price of Bitcoin to head higher, but for that we have to overcome some key line of resistance. Otherwise, this volatility could be favoring the shorts. First, a move to the downside, and only after that, a continuation which might look somehow like this. And if that does plays out, right? If that does plays out, then in the immediate short term, first, this area will be retested, which shows us a move around 80,000. And once that support gets broken, you know, we will be also following a descending triangle. And you know, guys, descending triangle only gets formed during downtrend. So that's why price failing to regain its trend above 86,000 means some very bearish scenario could be lining up parallelly, which could be attracting the price of Bitcoin around 75,000. And even with the weekly time frame, you can see, I showed you this couple of times in my video, in many cases, Bitcoin before turning parabolic, before turning bullish, we have seen few retests around this 50 exponential moving average, and only after that a bullish continuation. I mean, Bitcoin has tested this 50 exponential couple of times before turning bullish in the past price action. So first pullback is already there, right? So if we are going to witness another attempt, then you know we could be retesting this 50 exponential moving average before finding bottom, before looking for a new opportunity. So in the immediate short term, we need the price of Bitcoin at any cost to break above 86,000 to invalidate this bearish continuation which is lining up right now. Otherwise, you know, otherwise we are preparing for a continuation which might look somehow like this. So these were some of the quick updates that I wanted to share with you in this video. If you enjoyed my work, then please, guys, do not hesitate to destroy that like button. And to those individuals watching this for the first time, to hit that subscribe button. And also, if you haven't claimed these bonuses which are available for our community members in the description down below, then definitely check it out. And by saying this, I'm signing out until next time. Bye-bye.